What's going on, guys? Bitcoin's dropping. It's a tough day in the crypto market today. It's a tough day for the Bitcoin miners. We do have one Bitcoin miner among the sea of red currently that is doing okay. We're also going to talk about a company setting up a new trading desk for institutional demand. And Bitcoin's options market isn't buying this downward move. We have a long bias for $100,000 calls. We're going to talk about all this and more. If you guys get something useful out of this, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and let's see what's going on today. And the largest cryptos are down. As you go down the list to smaller market caps, you start seeing green. But Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down, Solana's down, BNB coin is down. And it's a similar story with the Bitcoin miners. For the most part, they are down. However, there is a microcap that's green right now. And the one Bitcoin miner that currently is green is Sphere 3D. Of course, that can change by the end of this video. That can change while I'm editing. But currently, looking at all of the miners that I follow, Sphere 3D is the only miner that is not red. Sometimes these are little hints that the market gives you. Sometimes it's nothing. But perhaps the market is continuing to rotate around these Bitcoin miners. One of the last that it rotated into was arent. Arent had a fantastic couple of months. And you know, it was a similar story. When we saw red across the board, arent was relatively flat, if not green. When we saw green across the board, arent was one of the top performers. You need to look for things like that. That's kind of a sign when the market is favoring something over something else. Of course, it doesn't last forever, but you want to follow that trend when it begins. This might be the beginning of the trend for Sphere 3D. For now, it is still facing resistance down this descending resistance line. It is still under its 50 MA. It was trying to maintain it. It continues having trouble breaking out of the 200 MA. Our fail of a break of the 200 here brought us back to our 50 MA, which we then later failed. What I personally expect out of Sphere 3D is when the hype really rolls in, when we're at the very tail end of the market, when the market's trying to rotate and still find what deals, little deals there are out there, what isn't extremely overvalued. That's when the stocks like Sphere 3D move. That's when the altcoins, the risky of the altcoins move. When euphoria is at its max, when people are willing to buy the riskiest things. And I don't think we're there yet for Sphere 3D, but it's getting close. But currently, you know, we are still in a downtrend. After our spike back in early 2024, it has been down since. The positive is it is maintaining its last year's low. Back down at 57 cents. I highly doubt we're going to get there. I do think there's a possibility we come down and test the 80s. But, you know, say goodbye if we break out of this descending resistance. Remember, we're talking about a sub $20 million market cap here. This is an extremely risky miner. This is also, in my opinion, an extreme reward miner. We're not talking about a company that's in the billions already. We're not even talking about a company in the hundreds of millions. But keep in mind, this is the riskiest of the risky Bitcoin miners. Now, I did want to show you guys Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin has been dropping. We're seeing new levels we haven't seen in a little while. We're talking since back in May of 2024. But you know, the reality is that's only a little over a month away. There's definitely a lot of fear in the market right now, a lot of negativity, a lot of negative sentiment. The reality is we're right around 10% from our all-time high. One thing you'll see with Bitcoin is we are setting up a descending wedge. This is a bullish pattern. This is typically a reversal pattern. The market doesn't have to play it out, but more often than not, they do play out. It does look like the market's reacting negatively. It does look like we are getting some kind of reaction off of this purple ascending line. I was kind of wondering whether or not we would get a reaction. But since the break of it, it's been nothing but red. I want to remind you guys that every time the RSI has been oversold on the daily on Bitcoin, it has been a great buying opportunity during this whole bull run. There's only been like 2 instances in the last year and a half when we've seen an oversold RSI. So keep an eye on the RSI. If it does get to oversold, it is a fantastic buying opportunity. Probably one of the last best buying opportunities this cycle. We're not there yet, but if we keep dropping, we will see an oversold RSI. I personally doubt the market will take it to oversold. I think it will pick up soon, and this could be the reversal we need. Otherwise, you know, perhaps we come down to 60,000, come down to our previous low here. Would not be all that surprising. Coming down to this level would probably bring us to oversold. And in hindsight, when we look back from 2025, this will probably be one of the last best buying opportunities. Standard Chartered is rumored to be setting up a Bitcoin and Ether trading desk, and a Standard Chartered rep told Cointelegraph that the firm has been working with regulators to support institutional clients' demand for trading Bitcoin and ETH. Here's something interesting. Cointelegraph reached out to Standard Chartered. The bank neither confirmed nor denied the report, but they revealed that there's been a demand from their clients to get into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So without saying yes, they basically said yes. We have been working closely with our regulators to support demand from our institutional clients to trade Bitcoin and ETH in line with our strategy to support clients across the wider digital asset ecosystem from access and custody to tokenization and interoperability. But that's not it. At the end of this article, we have something from Goldman Sachs. In addition to Standard Chartered, Goldman Sachs expressed that many of its clients are showing renewed interest in crypto this year. On March 2024, Goldman Sachs exec Max Minton highlighted that clients are exploring the crypto sector. Minton said that the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US triggered the resurgence of institutional interest. Moving right along, I wanted to show you guys that right now there's a bias to $100,000 call options. In the options market, we observed an abnormally large buying flow of December and March expiry $90,000 to $100,000 calls. We believe this suggests the market's calling the bottom and positioning itself for a sustained rally, possibly lasting into 2025. Now, I'll leave that down below for you guys, but I want to continue on here. Looks like CleanSpark, the other day we had a nice breakout of this trend. It looked like we were going to have a great breakout. The market brought it back down. This recent pain from Bitcoin brought us back down into this pattern. But yeah, basically CleanSpark failed to break out of its 21. This is going to be a crucial resistance to break out of, this $21 resistance. It's going to be important to see how CleanSpark does right around 17. That's where its 50 MA is currently sitting at. I generally expect CleanSpark to fill out this pattern like I've mentioned. Do we head back down to 14, maybe 15, right around July, the beginning of July? I think it's possible. This would be a fantastic place to bounce. Maybe it has a little bit of hesitation into earnings. I wouldn't be surprised to see the miners sell off as we approach earnings. There's going to be a lot of worry about forward guidance. The market's really curious, when's the profitability going to come back now that we're post-halving? When is Bitcoin going to finally break back over 70,000, get more and more of these miners into profitability? The market is still very hesitant with the miners. To me, the miners are in a much better position than they were back when Bitcoin was 15,000, back when Bitcoin was 20,000, back when Bitcoin was 30,000, even considering the rewards being cut in half. The Bitcoin miners now are doing much better, in my opinion, than they were back when Bitcoin was 30,000 pre-halving. Many have much better balance sheets from back in that time. Many have recently diluted, which gives them access to more capital to grow, to continue to survive. Many of them have been building up their Bitcoin balances, and I remain completely unworried with CleanSpark. The only miner I currently own that I'm worried about, to be honest, is Sphere 3D, the highest risk, highest reward miner. To me, these miners are going to continue their bull market. Once Bitcoin finally breaks over its all-time high, these miners are going to go parabolic. There's nothing holding them back at that point. And I do expect a stock like CleanSpark by the end of this peak to be anywhere from $30 to $50. $30 as my base case, bear case, which is still higher than current price, and $50 if things get euphoric. Maybe we go farther than that, but I don't want to give ridiculous price targets that are less and less likely to hit. So I'll stick it there, To me, CleanSpark by the end of the cycle, $30 to a $50 stock. I think that is very, very doable. But what do you think? Where do you guys think CleanSpark is going by the end of the peak? Where do you think some of your other top Bitcoin miners are going to go by the peak of the Bitcoin bull run? And heck, where do you think Bitcoin will be? Despite some recent news that's negative, like Germany selling apparently, some longs getting liquidated, things flip very quickly. Institutions are loading up. Whales are interested in Bitcoin. Companies are adopting a similar strategy to MicroStrategy, where they load up on Bitcoin, add it to their treasury. We will see more of that over time. And the Bitcoin adoption really is still in its early phases. We're still extremely early. It's still a very exciting time to be in this space, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and have a good weekend.